I want to make a quick video going over some of the details of the economics fair. Is showing you some examples of items that students did last year. Mood flags. So you can see used a popsicle stick and then felt and put the faces on it and then attached it. Chopsticks. She made wands. She used hot glue and painted. And then we also had a student just make paper boats and sell them. All that student would need if they did paper boats is just colored paper. So the first thing that they did was they already turned into me 3 possible ideas that they would do. This was so I knew that they were thinking about it and they had some backup ideas. Tomorrow, January 17th, they are going to finalize it down to 1. I will say things like business, idea, but basically saying this is what I'm doing for the economics fair. That can be a good or a service. If it's a good, it's something like a cookie or a keychain. If it's a service, it's something like face painting or painting nails, hair braiding. After this, next week on Monday, starting January 22nd to January 26th, they are going to work on their pitch, their Shark Tank pitch. What they're going to do in my class is work on writing this 1-minute speech. I've given them a bunch of guidelines, but we will walk through it together. Basically, how they're going to set it up, and then on that Friday, they will turn in a final copy to me of what they're going to say. When they give their pitch, they should have with them a prototype and an advertisement. In that copy that got sent home, I also sent out the PDF, is the guidelines of what this is going to look like. But the reason why I did this is so when they're going and making their prototype, they know whether or not they're confident in this. I use myself as an example. I'm very bad at making bracelets. I love them. I think they're so fun. But every time I think I'm going to go and I'm going to make a bracelet, I feel really overwhelmed. So that would not be a good choice for me. So I'd rather know that that's not a good choice now in January than in March, right? So the prototype is making sure this is a good idea. And that is going to be due to me January 29th when they come walk in on Monday. Now, that is the week that I'm planning for everybody to give their pitch. The fact is there's 30 students in each class, so probably not every student is going to go. But I'm probably going to draw names randomly. And do it that way. So I want everybody prepared for that. On January 29th, the permission slip is due. I want this knowing that before these kids go and give their pitches that you have talked with them and you are good. I use myself as an example for this. I love baked goods, but unfortunately, I was not a kid that my parents liked me to be in the kitchen, and for good reason. I was a child that touched the stove. So if I was like, I'm going to make cookies, and I went home and I talked to my mom about it, she would have said, no, you're not doing that. We need to come up with another idea. So this is saying, you know what your scholar's saying they're doing, and you are good with that, and we're ready to move forward. So when they are done giving me their pitch, they are going to get a fake check of startup money saying, okay, you're ready to go in your business. Think of me like the investor shark giving them their startup money. When we have done finishing the pitches, we're going to work on their budgets and kind of talk through some of the expenses that go into running a business. So having to pay rent, to be able to have a space for them to have their business and business license and electricity. So your scholar is now working on their products at home. I highly suggest, if it is something that is feasible for it, obviously baked goods are just different, but if they're able to, if it's a keychain or a bookmark, something, bracelets, they can start making that now and do a little bit at a time so they're not overwhelmed. As you're going along and getting stuff, you're going to fill out this expense sheet. Also, something to be thinking about is how you want to set up your stand. Obviously, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but some students had balloons and tablecloths, things like that. That needs to go on your expense sheet as well, and how you want to store the Queen's Grant cash. Some students just put it in a Ziploc bag. Others brought in shoe boxes, things like that. Be thinking about those. March 25th is when the expense sheet is due, so that needs to be turned in to me by the Monday before economics fair. If you are doing baked goods, I do understand that sometimes, those things need to be made sooner to the date, but please have already bought the supplies so I can have that and start scoring. The economics fair will be March 27th. The kids will have everything set up. Students from the school, all of the classes will be coming around and shopping. They will have 30 Queen's Grant cash, and they'll get to buy the items. And then all the money that they earned, they will get to be able to use and either shop the economics fair themselves, or the day after we will have the store with the items that y'all have sent in as donations, and they'll get to spend their earnings.